This is Kira's show here. And this what if I'm doing right now, it's actually replacing a what if I was going to do. But upon further research with that what if, I realized I would actually need to rewatch a couple things and do a couple things before I properly do that one. And it kind of sucks because I actually did think about a lot of the story of how to do it already. But aside from that, give me a minute. Well, aside from that, I I don't have a proper storyboard set up. I don't write anything down. I come up with a lot of things on the spot. Right now, I'm getting out a notepad. Well, not a notepad, but a sheet of paper and a pencil. And I'm actually trying to keep track of certain things I'm doing. So, yeah. For that, what if I will figure things out and I will try and get it not reposted, but redo it. So I will do that and I will post that what if sometime. Hmm. I work things. I'm probably working Thanksgiving and Black Friday, so probably not around then, but I will get that what if posted. Anyway, this is going to be part one of what if Deku had Daredevil's powers. And what I mean by that is a lot of the stuff that Daredevil does is physical training. That's the reason why his skill is so high and why he's able to do what he does. He's still human, yes, but a lot of the stuff he requires is physical. So, yeah. Okay. So we start off with Deku being born, and whenever he is born, he is actually born blind. And the doctors are confused and wondering if Deku's okay. And whenever they do essentially have Deku walk around and do all this stuff later, no, Deku is born like a normal baby, but he is blind. And later on in his life, around the age of 2 or 3 years old, he still bumps into stuff, but he has trouble navigating certain areas. And hmm, yeah, okay, that still works. So he's having trouble navigating certain areas, and he's learning a bunch of other things. He's learning how to read Braille, how to talk English, normal things you'd be trying to teach a baby. And by the age of 4 or 5 years old, whenever he does go to manifest a quirk, whenever the doctors do check and see if he has a quirk, they actually are amazed because he does have a quirk. And whenever he first did manifest his quirk, he was at home eating breakfast in the morning and he was actually having an easier time navigating around the house. But whenever he did show up to kindergarten, the teachers and everyone was surprised because usually Deku would run into something or have trouble with things. And the first day of kindergarten, whenever Deku actually showed up, he showed up without his walking cane because he did have one. And after that, people would start talking about their quirks, and Deku would be actually asked what his quirk is. He would explain that his quirk is essentially control over his five senses, well, over four senses, or not four senses. But his quirk allows him to see, but the way it does it is it's basically like the doctor described it as a bat sonar. But yeah, He's essentially able to hear things, see things, and smell things. And even and he thinks it even might he thinks a side effect to his quirk might be that he might not be scared of anything. Because Daredevil is nicknamed the man without fear. And people wouldn't really believe Deku because they think he's just boasting about his quirk. And Bakugo, because this is before he would manifest his quirk, so Deku would have his before Bakugo. Bakugo would see Deku as, oh, that's a pretty cool quirk, but whenever I get my quirk, it's going to be better. Your quirk is just lucky. Your quirk is it's a good quirk, but I don't really see how you could become a hero with that quirk. And Deku would just tell Bakugo that he is going to try and be a hero. It doesn't matter what type he's going to be, but he is going to be the best hero that he's telling Bakugo that he'll be better than him when it comes to being a hero. And Bakugo kind of has this camaraderie moment with Deku where he would just tell him, "Yeah, but you still won't be able to beat me. I'll be number one." And after that, they skip to a couple, let's say years, but that's not how this worked in this one. Actually, yeah, no, skip to that point where they're on the log. They're doing that thing where they're doing that explorer. Bakugo would start falling, but Deku would actually leap off and grab Bakugo and actually swing him upward back onto where the log is. And whenever Deku did do this, he did it very swiftly and was able to keep control over his balance. And he would land and he would fall. Well, actually, he would have fell whenever he landed because he's not very good at controlling his quirk yet. But one thing that happened with Bakugo is he actually saw Deku as kind of a hero for doing that because Deku actually did hurt. He did hurt one of his ankles doing that, and his mom would be a bit, well, I would say mad at him, but she would be worried about Deku because it was reckless what he did, but he did save Bakugo from getting hurt. And after that, let's cut to Deku would actually start training at a young age to be a hero. And what I mean by training is he would go outside and punch a tree and do stuff like iron bone training. And he would try to do acrobatics because in a fight he can't really stay in one place because a lot of people, well, he's seen from what his mom described on TV, what a lot of villains do is they don't actually know certain forms of combat. So Deku, he would actually do something smart and learn acrobatics so he could be more agile whenever he does fight people. And now let's cut to the end of middle school. Deku's been doing some training like this for the past, let's say, 5 to, what is it? They're 14 when they enter UA. The last 5 to 7. Actually, yeah, no. Deku would have started this training whenever he was 7 years old, so, because before that he would just do simple, like, he would have done simple stuff like push ups, sit ups, a lot of stuff like that, but he would have started this intense training after he saved Bakugo. So he would have been doing it for almost a decade, like 7 or 8 years. And we cut to where they're 14. Bakugo would have stopped, like, he would be friends with Deku, and he would have seen that Deku's always training and stuff like that. And he doesn't really care that Deku. Well, because Deku, he just has a journal in Braille and just talks about heroes' abilities and certain things like that on the pages. And Bakugo doesn't really care about that, but he finds it interesting, but he can't read it. So after that, Bakugo, he would do his speech about how he's better than people like that. And his quirk is one of the best in the class. And the teacher would then say that, oh, Midoriya wanted to go to UA. A lot of people would have said that he can't go to UA. His quirk he can't even see anything out of his eyes. Deku would kind of yell at everyone saying that he can actually see. He can see like a bat. That's why his eyes have no pigmentation or color. That's why they're gray. Because yes, he can see, but it's only whenever sound waves bounce off of everything. And he would tell people that he can actually see a tree outside and the car is moving. And those people over there, let's say that there was a guy with coffee. He's drinking a coffee with 2 sugars, some milk, and actually some cream. And people would look outside, and the kid with the eyes out of his head, let's say he can actually see far. So he would say that that guy is actually drinking something, but he doesn't know what it is. And everyone will kind of be amazed at Deku's quirk a bit because they never realized that this is how he would actually see everything. Because his quirk would actually give him a lot of information, like the flow of a lot of information around him. Crap. That is coffee. I spilled my coffee. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. So after that, Bakugo would tell Deku that even if he does become a hero, there is no way that he could beat Bakugo and actually come close to number 1. Deku would tell Bakugo because he does a lot of. I don't remember what the martial art is called, but I'll have to look them up and actually write a little bit down a bit of a list. So I will do that in the next part or before the next part whenever I do post it today. And after that, I will find a better picture for that will replace this. Anyway, they would go outside, and Deku would get in his fighting stance. Bakugo would comment on this, and Deku would actually rush him. And Bakugo would try and throw back one of his arms to do an explosion and actually go toward Deku. Deku would have dodged because this is a left hook. He knows that Bakugo does like to swing. And after yeah. After that, he would take down Bakugo, but he would dislocate one of his arms. So he can actually throw explosions with that hand, and Deku does essentially because he does knock him out, but actually, let's say he still did keep the stick, but he used it more to practice martial arts at home, and he would actually carry it because it is collapsible. But he would have pulled out the stick and swatted Bakugo's hands, done some stuff like that, and he would have actually thrown it into Bakugo, right between Bakugo's eyes, knocking him out. Because I've seen Daredevil actually do that in the comics, and that just seems pretty funny to do to someone. So after that, Deku would go home for the day, and the Sludge villain attack would happen. Now Deku would hear and smell the Sludge villain, so he would actually not run through the area, but he would have gone through the area, gotten further away. The sludge phone will try to attack him. He would have actually started climbing up some of the buildings and swinging around, doing all that, getting away from the sludge villain, trying to keep it away. All Might would arrive and see that Deku is actually doing all this, so All Might thinks he must have a strength enhancing quirk and knows or is it just an acrobat? So Deku would actually get away from the sludge villain and do all that. So All Might would take the sludge villain away, and after that, Deku would ask All Might that question: can he be a hero with his quirk? And he would actually tell Deku that he doesn't think he can, but he would poof down. And Deku would say that your size may have changed, but I can still tell that you're the same. But your smell hasn't, so you must still be All Might. Then Deku would explain that he can essentially, because let's say he does know who picks. Yeah, he does know who the Pussycats are. So he would say that his quirk is kind of like Pixie Bob's, but he. Oh, good. but but his quirk doesn't allow him to actually see. He describes it like a bat's sonar, and All Might would actually be amazed by this. And after that, All Might would realize that he doesn't have the Sludge villain, and hmm, yeah, okay, I can do that in this what if. Let's say that in this time, let's see, All Might would have jumped in another direction this time, and they would have been on a different building. And meanwhile, let's cut to the shopping district area on the other side of town, away from Bakugo and his lackeys. Bakugo is still kind of mad that he lost Deku, but he would have actually said that damn nerd actually did take him down. So he's got to give him some credit for it, because he didn't think that he would be beaten. So he would actually have done some physical training and tried learning a martial art or try learning boxing. Something simple like Bakugo fighting style, because boxing is very straightforward. So after that, we cut to the shopping district. There are a bunch of security guards and men in black suits trying to get through and use their quirks to try and help save someone. Deku would have actually been passing by and heard this, so he would have come over to see what's going on. Because he would have smelled smoke and he would have heard a lot of the stuff going on, because the sound would have reverberated all around the city. And reverberate basically means echo. And he nicknamed his quirk echolocation, even though it's basically echolocation, but they think his quirk has something more to do with it. So after that, Deku would have gone there and seen what's going on. He would have seen that it was a sludge villain. Well, not see, but he would have been able to, with all the sound bouncing off everywhere, he would have seen that it was the sludge villain, since he does have echolocation like a bat. I know a lot of people sometimes don't understand what that really means, but if you just look it up, it is very simple. So after that, Deku would have actually tried rushing in to help. And yeah, this time he would actually be jumping around doing all this. Everyone would be watching him, thinking that he might be a pro hero. because he doesn't really like taking transportation a lot because he can hear everyone's conversations on the train. So he would have actually walked around, and he would actually be taller in this what if. So now then, Deku is probably around Ida's height. Actually, he's taller than Bakugo, but not taller than Ida. And after this, Deku would have actually gotten the student. He would have gotten the girl that the Sludge villain attacked out of there, and All Might would have done his whole thing about, oh, this boy is the hero. I had just stepped in and helped him because he left an opening for me to attack the villain. So after that, Deku would have been praised and scolded by the heroes, and now the girl that he actually did save would have come up and told him thank you, thank you. And as soon as she tries coming to Deku, all these security guards would surround her and essentially box her in a bit, and she would have to order them to move. And one of them would actually mention that it is not, after what has just happened, it is not a good idea to leave you open. And she would reassure him that this this boy, well, this guy, he actually did try and help save her. And Deku would tell them that it's perfectly fine. There's no need to use the guns they have on him. He won't. He's not a villain. He won't harm anyone. They would have actually been surprised to know this, and they would have said, How would he know which one of them are carrying guns? Deku would have said that he can actually smell the lingering scent of gunpowder on each one of them, and that he would point to one of the random guys, saying that he has actually fired a gun this morning, if not sometime this evening. And this guy is actually surprised because he wasn't really paying attention to how. Well, he didn't really think about it. So, yeah. After that, the girl would introduce herself as Momo Yajirozu and said that she would have. Well, she was coming here to see what kind of fashions they had and ideas for her hero suit because she was planning on. Well, she got a recommend. She's going to get. She is fairly sure that she will get a recommendation from UA, and that this will do her a lot of good because her family would probably have actually built the robots for the practical exam. So yeah, after that, I will be going over what happens in the next 10 months with a lot of different information. Well, actually, I know a lot about Daredevil, so I can probably use what I have. But anyway, this is going to be Kiro Show signing off. Alright, goodbye.